think the Hill is probably one of the #1 neighborhoods in St. Louis.
Outside of Italy, America stands as a bastion of Italian culture, where locations all around America have worked to maintain Italy's authentic culture through the creation of welcoming communities to Italians. These locations have evolved into small towns, sometimes only a few blocks long, called Little Italies. These towns were formed after the great arrival of Italians in the 1880s as they fled unsafe working conditions, natural disasters, and overpopulation. The arrival began with primarily northern Italians, and southerners followed them as conditions worsened in Italy. Over time, Italians grew to be one of the largest ethnic groups in America, which is still true today. Some of the most famous Little Italies around the country are in San Diego, Manhattan, and New Orleans. Arguably, however, the most sustainable Little Italy is in St. Louis, Missouri, called The Hill. Today, we will be exploring the life of a resident and business owner on the Hill, Joe Barbaglia.
Okay, I lived on the Hill my whole life. Went to St. Ambrose School from 8th grade, all the way from kindergarten to 8th grade. Then from there, I went to Southwest High School. Then from there to Merrimack. Owned Southwest Auto Parts for 37 years. Sold it just September 1st. Owned a repair shop for 5 years. But I bought Southwest Auto Parts when I was only 28 years old. So it's been a long time. I'm 66. It's very rewarding. I mean, and then you know everybody. So, and if you take care of people, they will come back. As you see, we have so many cars. We took in 22 cars today. 22 cars today we took in. We've had over 25 here already. So it is very rewarding to see people. I help a lot of people. Some people come in, they might not have enough money to do something. We try to make sure they get their car fixed. They have some transportation. I'm involved with a lot of stuff on the Hill. As you see the ads, there's one right over there. I'm in charge of a lot of stuff on the Hill because they know it gets done.
The Hill has managed to stay so authentic over the years due to the effort of its surrounding community.
So that's what you want. You want somebody that's going to live here, be involved, and I love the neighborhood. The neighborhood is like a small town. So you got to put your effort in there. No matter what you're doing, you have to participate and do that. Otherwise, it's going to go away, and you're going to lose tradition. So that's what we do.
The Hill works like a town, which requires necessary shops, housing, and food. If one is lacking, it'll throw off the rest. This is why Joe's point of every person putting in their fair share is so important.
I remember housing was going for very inexpensive. You could buy a shotgun house for $20,000, $30,000.
Because Joe has lived on the Hill his entire life, I asked him what some of the biggest changes were that he's seen on the Hill.
I bought my house back in the day. Now I did put some additions on and stuff, but we paid $61,500 for it, and that was in 1988. It's worth $650 today.
Although the value of housing has increased on the Hill significantly, one thing that has remained unchanged is the process it takes in order to buy a house on the Hill, as it's extremely uncommon for houses to be publicly listed.
If you didn't know somebody, you weren't going to get moved on the Hill unless you were Italian, or you knew the priest, or that was back a long time ago. Okay, and if you're selling your house, oh, I'm selling my house. Oh, no, you're not. You make sure you talk to them, and they're going to put somebody in there, a family that would grow with the Hill. I mean, if you look over on the Hill, you don't see a lot of for sale signs on the Hill. If they are for sale, phone call. Hey, I'm going to sell my house. You know somebody? Okay, yeah. So before you can buy a house, you got to go through pastor and make sure you can get a house around here.
This is one of the key ways in which the Hill preserves its culture. Family is seen as one of the most important aspects of Italian culture and is seen especially in the Hill. Many families were forced to flee Italy and in turn leave their home behind. Although many had intent to return to Italy, a lot of families found America more suitable for them. These little Italies all around the world are a result of the strong community that Italians brought from Italy to America. Today, families work to stay on the Hill in order to maintain authenticity in the area, and Joe's family did exactly that.
People love family life. They love to be, like I said, it's like a little town. So now the younger people, my daughter, she got married, moved on the Hill. They were thinking about moving off, and I said, no, got a house right there on Elizabeth.
Although family was held closely to Italians, it was not always easy marrying the person you loved.
My mom was Sicilian. My dad was Lombard, and normally a Sicilian would not marry a Lombard.
Lombards and Sicilians have a history of disconnection when arriving to America. The first wave of immigration came from northerners. As southern locations followed, they remained separated from each other as there was a large wealth gap between them.
My dad had to get permission from my mom's father to marry her because they didn't allow those. It was like, oh no, you're not going to marry a Sicilian. But everybody does get along. Now things are different.
One of the main aspects on the hill that aided in bringing the two communities together was St. Ambrose Church.
St. Ambrose is the rock of the hill. If it wasn't for St. Ambrose, the hill would not be here today. No doubt in my mind. You got to have that church. That is the heart. If that goes down, it's just like losing your heart and your body. You're going to have problems.
Joe's experience on the hill gave me a new perspective of life as a resident and business owner on the hill, and showed me that research can never tell the story of someone the way that the person can themselves. And I am grateful that he opened up to me about his life in order to deepen my knowledge of Italian culture in St. Louis.